Hello everybody and welcome back to another online Chinese history class with me, Tony. In our last class we talked about the third of the 5 hegemons of the spring and autumn period, Jin Wengong. We left off with a cliffhanger. Was Jin Wengong able to defeat the Chu army? Well, he actually was. He was able to achieve both honoring his opponent and defeating them in military strategy, which surpasses Song Xianggong's entire point of honor, doesn't it? Well, of course, after the display of the lack of power Song Xianggong had, many other royal princes also felt that they could do a better job than he did. So Kingdom from the West, Qin, also had ambitions to become the next hegemon, around the same time that Jin Wengong did. However, as we all know, Jin Wengong took the spot, so Qin Wugong, who is going to be the next hegemon, had to be patient and waited. Right when Jin Wengong died, he started making his moves. He immediately planned a surprise attack on neighboring kingdom in hopes of getting more power. Jin was the neighboring kingdom. However, as his troops advanced, a man suddenly popped up claiming to be a minister from Jin that expressed their want to trade with the Qin kingdom. Now, the general of the Qin army thought that the information that they were going to surprise attack Jin was leaked and immediately retreated their troops. What do you think actually caused the minister to meet the Qin army there? A. He was sent by the Jin to actually trade with them and had no clue about the secret surprise attack whatsoever. Or B. The kingdom of Qin had a spy who secretly told the Jin kingdom that they were invading their kingdom. So then the minister was sent to surprise them and make them back off because they knew they had much less military power than Qin and couldn't defeat them in an actual battle. Or C. He was just a wandering trader who sold and traded cows and was on his way to do some business when he met the invading army of Qin. He was surprised and also worried, so he disguised himself as a minister in hopes to scare them away, which was successful. Or D. The man was actually a scout who was on the lookout for potential invaders and saw the army of Qin. He then impersonated himself as a minister that wanted to trade with them in hopes of scaring them away, which was, successful. I'll give you some time to answer this. Alright, the correct answer of this question was C. After the army of Qin retreated, Jin spread the news to the Jin kingdom, which was the kingdom of, the former royal prince. So they ambushed Qin's army and absolutely dominated and destroyed them. This was a devastating loss, and the army general of Qin was really ashamed of this. He got a second chance though, because Qin Wugong didn't blame him for the loss since, he was why he sent them to sneak attack. So after a couple of years of training the troops, the Qin army attacked the kingdom of Jin for revenge, but they lost again. The same process repeated, and this time when they attacked, they were so determined that when they crossed the river into the territory of Jin, they burned their boats, so there could only be 2 outcomes: death or victory. They couldn't retreat. This time, they achieved victory, and that's how Qin Wugong became the next hegemon. So have you noticed that every royal prince's name ends with Gong, right? Well, that's because it means royal prince. So of course it would be there, or prince, yeah. So, but then the 5th royal prince is actually unique and an exception to this usage of vocabulary, because he called himself Chu Zhuang Wang. The Wang means king, so he was basically calling himself a king, like a king of the Zhou dynasty, which already existed, remember. Well, why did he do this? Well, let's find out. The kingdom of Chu was located in the south, and a past leader decided to the king of Zhou if they could become the next royal prince, but the request was declined because they didn't do many things that really helped the king of Zhou. Now, the Chu kingdom was actually extremely powerful and had a lot of resources. However, they didn't actually have any royal blood in their veins, not even 1%, and also were located far away. I mean, they had a very large piece of land, but it was located just not that close to the clutter of the other kingdoms, which had good relations with each other and always talked and had diplomatic meetings. But Chu Wang and the Chu kingdom didn't really have any of that. So they were basically treated similar to how the outside tribes were treated, like as uncivilized cultures. Not as bad, but it's like 50%. It's pretty similar, and that is a disgrace for them, as they thought. Chu Wang took the throne a couple of years after the king, the former royal prince, asked the king of Zhou to become the next hegemon. But the surprise here is he actually was not a good leader. He was not a good ruler. He was quite a bad one. He ruled 3 years, only having fun and parties, only eating and only drinking, not doing anything related to the military and anything related to expanding his empire and boosting up his troops. He even made the law that if anyone was to disturb his fun and partying, then they would be executed. There will be no worse crime than that. A minister wasn't happy with how this was going. Actually, a couple of them, most of them were, but this minister was very confident. He was brave. He was braver than the others. He believed that there was a chance that they can become the next royal prince, that they could hold power over the kingdom of the dynasty of Zhou. So he talked with Chu Wang. He said, "In the kingdom of Chu lies a giant bird with many colors across its body and pride in its spirit, but in 3 years it has never even chirped once. Do you know what kind of bird this is?" And this was like a puzzle, and it was fun. So Chu Wang was like, "God, this is like a fun puzzle thing. So yeah, I'm gonna do this." And he replied, "Well, this bird isn't an ordinary one. It hasn't flown for 3 years, but when it does, it shall soar through the sky at light speed. It hasn't chirped in 3 years, but when it does, it shall make the mountains tremble." The minister says that he understands, so he thinks Chu Wang will take action soon. But that ended up just to be a false hope. After a couple of months, instead of organizing a meeting with him this time, he straight up goes into Chu Wang's palace while he was having some fun while throwing a party, in hopes of convincing him once and for all. He was taking a risk of his life since the law that was made 3 years ago. So Chu Wang called him stupid and idiotic since he was basically on a suicide mission that had close to 0% chance of succeeding. However, the minister says that his stupidity will only cost him his life, while Chu Wang's will destroy this entire kingdom. From there, the bird prepared to chirp and fly the first time in 3 years. It was motivated. It was inspired. And it did soar through the skies. Its cry did shake the mountains, because Chu Wang conquered all of the kingdoms around him, basically, most of them, and even humiliated the Qin army because of their overwhelming victory against them. This brought back the honor they lost when they lost the battle against Jin Wengong. Remember that? At the start of this class, I mentioned Jin Wengong defeating the Chu army. Well, yeah, this brought back the honor that they lost when they lost the fight. He even threatened the king of Zhou's power by invading a bunch of cities near them. So the King of Zhou was forced to make him the fifth and final hegemon, and he called himself king, because he embraced that other kingdoms treated that he was outside of the Zhou kingdom. But after that incident, he was treated like any other kingdom. He was just a part of it. He wanted to make himself special, just a bit of fun, like what Zhu Zhuanglong always wanted. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. See you next time.